Hi, today I'm joined by Vera Kriel, Director of Utility Coach. And today I'm just going to ask you a few questions around what you're going to be presenting this week at the show. And you're going to be presenting around the management of a customer ecosystem in a digitalized world.
Yes.
Can you tell us what some of the key themes are that you're going to be presenting?
Okay. So the first and foremost is that customer centricity is a strategic imperative. It's not a nice to have. And that if you don't do a customer centricity approach in your business, you have got some serious issues around sustainability. Because if you have a customer centricity approach, then you can prevent grid defection and also identify other revenue streams that help you with your own sustainability. So that's the first point. The second point is that in this totally dynamic, interconnected world that's created by digitalization, you need a customized, not one-size-fits-all engagement strategy for your customers. It must be a priority because that creates relationships, and relationships in turn creates loyalty. And then the spin-off effect in terms of loyalty creates again, you have avenues for revenue and your own sustainability. So that's the second point. And I think then the last point is that utility specifically is still very much an engineered product-based organization, and they need to move to this customer centricity organization, which got itself some challenges around, the business model, around things like performance management. How do you reward people? If you reward them previously in a product-based environment, how do you reward them now if you expect them to do more customer-orientated strategies? And then also in terms of higher structure, because usually if you're a product-based organization, you have very functional and product-based structures. There's very hierarchy. When you have customer, you need to structure your organization around customer segments and what's the needs and expectations from a customer. So those are kind of the three main points.
So it sounds very complex, not easy.
It isn't easy, and I think that is part of the reason why we need to start talking about these things. It's not going to be done overnight. It is a process. It is a journey that you need to go on, but it's a journey you actually had to start a few years back already. So there's some urgency if you haven't started on that journey already.
And what have been some of the challenges that you found when implementing these digital focus strategies?
So there are many challenges, but I actually want to mention one, because that's the most important and almost the catalyst for everything, and that's culture. Because statistically, I'm not sure if you're aware, but 60% of the utility workforce worldwide is 40 years or older, which means that they don't have that natural digital nativeness that the millennials got. And it means it's kind of how they experience it more as a challenge in terms of moving from a normal analog environment to a digital environment. And with everything, change difficult. And if you don't get the people on board, you can have the most beautiful strategies and everything, it won't be implemented. But if you have the people on board, then a lot of these other challenges becomes very secondary. And that is for me. So I always say that bring the people and address the culture. And we have definitely got a big challenge around the culture when it comes to digitalization in this utility.
In your opinion, what does the digital utility look like in the next 10 years?
So the trends that I see is the kind, I call it the 5D trend model, okay? So the first trend is obviously the decarbonization. Since 2013, there was a decrease in coal, and that's going to happen. And part of that is because renewables have started to come online. So what's the impact there for utility? They will have to be able to bring on this renewable energy sources. Okay. The second thereof is also the decrease is linked to the first, which is the decreasing of cost. For instance, in the last 10 years, the wind costs have gone down by 67%, and solar PV has come down by 86%. So there's a link in terms of more and more of these renewables will come online because of the cost decreasing. The third one then connected also to that is decentralization. And we hear a lot about microgrids, we hear about DER, and that's going to definitely come more and more online. Again, utility need to think about how they're going to integrate that. ironically, that is where digitalization can help, and that brings me to the fourth one where I'm quite passionate about, is that because of the digitalization is only going to increase. I spoke about previously in terms of the digital natives that they call. The more and more these people are going to get not only into the jobs, but also become the managers and the decision makers, the more that trend is going to accelerate. And it's also going to accelerate in utilities. And utilities are almost at the tail end of a lot of industries. A lot of industries have embarked on this journey, and customers is going to force the utilities to move faster on that journey, which is the fifth D, which I call democratization, or also called consumer activism. Because ultimately your consumers and customers are going to not only, they're going to push you in a direction by voting with their money, and even from a activism point of view, consumers, even with their political votes, in terms of they want lower costs, they want more decentralized supply, and those trends are all going to impact the utility of the future.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big conversation this week,
yes.
Especially around the 5 Ds.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you.
Thank you.